How's it going, man?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about the wait, man.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's pretty early, man. Sorry, I'm working on East Coast time, so I gotta make another fit. I'm sorry to make
Yo,
you wake up so early.
I totally forgot until I had one eye open and I was looking at my email and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I did write that down. I got a fucking interviews, but there's no problem. I was in bed, where you're in bed and you're trying to wake up and you're like, oh, like I'm trying to get out of bed, but like I'm on the phone. That's what it was. So I was like, oh shit, I was like, yeah, but it
Yeah.
was good timing. So.
I want to ask you first and foremost. Um, I just kind of an icebreaker. I know this question I'm gonna ask, but how are you right now during COVID?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. The world is crazy right now, but I'm just staying creative. Staying creative like keeps me my head focused, and it keeps me just good, So the mental is important too. So as long as you keep the mental like good and you keep focused, yeah, I feel okay. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't have stopped you. I mean, 2020 was a very prolific year. You had about eight. So you released 8 songs. You featured almost 20, and you have an album coming up. You did a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Just staying creative, man. That's what works for me.
Yeah. So, what exactly can you tell us about the album? I'm really excited to hear that because the last one was Afro Polo. When was that? 2016.
Yeah. Afropolo was the EP for the fans, to give them for the weight of the album, and just to give them a project, and it was cool how that one came together. It was my Afropolo was my first original project. Before that, it was mostly like mixtapes and like stuff like that. But yeah, Polo was my first original, and well, with this debut, this one's way bigger. It's a lot more songs. This one's gonna be like 20 or 21 songs, from my debut album. And that's what I wanted to do for the first one, because fans have been waiting, supporters have been waiting on for a good minute. So I'm like, hey, I want to give you guys this bit, a pretty decent sized album.
So, is this like the stuff with like the DJ Premier and all those other guys that Ari was giving you to? Are there some of those
Got
tracks gonna be on there?
I got some cool people. I don't want to spoil too many surprises with the producers and some of the futures. I'll tell you of a few, but like some of the, I got some pretty cool guys on there where I'm like, cool.
Nice. All right. So I also understand you've been ventured into beat making. You have a little Native Instruments machine. Are there any self productions on the album?
Yes, I have a good 5 or 6 beats on the album.
Nice.
Yeah, I produced a couple of them.
What kind of stuff? Like boom bap or venturing into trap maybe?
Boom bap, yeah, I'm mostly boom bap. I don't hate on trap, but it's not really my type of thing. As far as when it comes to making beats too, like I don't. I think I've only made one trap beat out of like maybe 500 I made over the years. So like, yeah, but yeah, mostly boom bap.
500 beats. That's your estimate 500. Where are those
I
going?
think so.
Where are
I
you gonna hear
think so,
those?
and I think so. In the past 6 or so years, I think I've made a good amount, like maybe over 500 beats.
Nice. When are you gonna hear those?
Um, Hopefully the album comes out soon, man. I'm aiming soon. I don't have a release date, but I got a good amount coming. And I just dropped a recent track with my boy Voice Watkins and Tech of Smith and Wesson, and that beat was mine. So that was one of the first like joints I ever released where it was like my beat, where like I had people rhyming over it and stuff. I was like, that was my first official Fro beat release.
That's cool. And speaking of releases, I want to. What else is in the works for 2021 besides all the different features and the new album?
Well, the album, I want to I'm working on more videos, more content for the fans, like some funny skits and stuff like that, like just little video content, just to so they can have for them for the meantime, just for a good minute, so they can have the content, and they can have just stuff they can appetize on, like instead of just like not really releasing anything. Something clicked in my head where like, yo, I got to release a bunch. I just got to give the fans stuff, like what they want. I got to give them stuff instead of giving them nothing. It's like, yo, I got to give them something.
Yeah, and that's part of your script writing project, right?
Yes, I got a couple scripts written. I do want to venture into filmmaking, but I want to give the fans the music first that they want, and then after like everybody's happy and stuff, I want to really go and venture into filmmaking. And I must have like maybe 6 maybe 6 or 7 scripts written and finished. I got like another 20 stacked to the side that I'm just like going here and there. But yeah, you know, I love movies too. Like if people would know me, hip hop and movies are like right here for me. And hip hop edges it, but movies too are like they're right there.
And speaking of which, you also just contributed to a soundtrack for the BET documentary, right?
I did a joint. Yes, I did a
Yeah.
track. I did a track. They reached out to me. Shout out to my brother Novel. Novel is a dope lyricist and a dope MC and a singer. And he reached out. He was like, "Yo," he was like, "This is BT joint. It's about police brutality. You want to rhyme on it?" I was like, "Sure." So that was a little cool thing that came through. It was cool.
Yeah. Okay then. Also, another thing, I guess I gotta ask you, while we're still on the subject of films, is there anything recently you've been watching that you've been enjoying? Any recommendations?
Oh, good question. Good question. I try not to nerd out too much, but
Go nuts, man.
I literally last night the Denzel movie just came out, The Little Things, and I want to rewatch it because I watched it late. It came out like 12 like midnight, and I'm watching it and I'm kind of falling asleep a little. I was like, oh no, so I want to rewatch it and give a good analysis. But from what I saw, it was pretty good. But a great movie I just saw recently on Netflix was called The Outpost, and it's a war movie. I thought that was pretty good. But a whole bunch, man. Like I'm lit like one a chill day for me because I don't know how to chill. I don't know how to sit down and chill. Like I'm always like working on something. But when I'm sitting down and chill, my ideal is like watch like 5 movies in a day or something like that, where I'm just like, all right, turn the brain off, just watch, just watch movies and stuff. But that's what I've been doing. So I got like a bunch piled up. But
Cool.
yeah, The Outpost. And then I would recommend if people love like acting performance movies and stuff, there's a movie called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom that just came out on Netflix, and that's pretty good. It's about like a recording session in the 20s or 30s, and like the band kind of going at it. I enjoyed that one too.
That one looks good in particular to me. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to that one.
Right.
So on to the miscellaneous questions now. First, I'm particularly interested in studio recording equipment. What exactly have you been using in isolation? Now you got your Shure SM7B. What else do you have in the studio?
Yeah, that's great. Great you said that. So I got the Shure SMB. In my studio, I'm not too crazy. I have the mic, I have my mic stand, I have an element interface. I would show you, but it's all connected. But
Thank you.
element interface, I have, can I flip this? One second. I have the Yamaha speakers. Um, I have the element interface. That's pretty good. That's been treating me good. And the mic and the interface, I've had almost all this stuff for almost 6 years now. So it's been treating me good. I've been using the one thing for almost 6 years, the mic, the interface. I make beats on Machine and I record with Logic. I've been using that for almost 6 years, and I know I could try new stuff, but it's just the thing that I'm comfortable with. It's the thing that I kind of like adapted to where I'm like, I could do this, record. But I record almost like 90% of my futures are all recorded by me. I record them here in this room. The Gift of Gab verse was recorded by me in this room, just by myself, the mic. But yeah, it's really simple. Like, and a couple fans ask me like, what do you use and stuff? What can I use? And I try to give them the not expensive stuff, but not the too cheap stuff either. It's like right down the middle. It's like, hey, get some good stuff for you. You don't need to buy the top stuff, but get some little nice for you too, so it can last you for a good minute. So definitely.
And what size are the speakers? They sevens or sixes, eights?
Ooh, good question. I wouldn't know. I would just say they're not the biggest ones because I know there's Yamaha ones. They have like
Yeah,
big ones. I
huge.
have like I think the middle one. I think right in the middle.
Okay. And speaking of which, while I'm getting to, I want to ask you. So, I myself am a neuroscience major here at Boston College, and your improvising strikes me as very fascinating cognitively. Not only are you super fluid, but I don't know how you can go on. There's a video of you doing on for like 4 minutes, just straight freestyling. What exactly is going on in your head? I know you grew up reading a dictionary, so that you have a lot of words in there, but how do you just process them and get them out there? Because a lot of guys in the rap battle scene, you just can't go on for like even half a second.
Well, the thing is, you know, it's like a weird state. So two things that kind of remind me the same as when I'm on stage and when I'm freestyling. It's the same thing. It's like it's like a weird blackout kind of phase where I'm there, but I'm not really there. You know, if that makes any sense. It's like, okay, it's like autopilot kind of thing. And it's like I tap into my mind and I just let it like go instead of, because before, like I usually freestyle or I rhyme on like a big platform or something like that, I get nervous, just like a lot of good people would. They would get nervous. So there's that feeling of nervous and all that, a little bit of anxiety. I found a way to just like wash it away and just be like, all right, good, just go. You know, just like don't even think about all it, just go. It's like a cool little autopilot kind of thing that I was able to tap into. And I've had that since I was young. I remember performing in talent shows in front of like the school, and I'd be nervous. I'd be like, wow, like, well, what is that? But I would just tap into it. I'm like, hey, you got to go now or never, you know, so you got to go. So, but it was a thing I was able to just tap into. It's like a weird autopilot blackout state.
Just getting into the zone. Another thing too I noticed though is, well, particularly on when you show up on Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah, it's also, from what I observed, a lot of people who freestyle find it hard not to swear or curse. But you tend to, when you're freestyling, you tend to use less expletives, and I find that remarkable. Is there just like a drive in your head where you like filter out the words?
Well, it depends. You know, I'm able to adapt. So let's say if I'm on a radio station and they're like, "Hey, freestyle for us, but you can't curse." You know, I'd be like, "Okay, no problem." You know, I'm gonna do my best to not do that. Or I'll find like a little word that's a cuss word, but not really, but it's like acceptable to say. So it's pretty funny. But cussing is half and half for me. Like when I would write earlier, I would cuss all the time. Now I'm finding myself like, hey, you know, scale it down back a little and show and let them know you could actually rhyme some other words too, you know. But when I'm freestyling, it's called a crutch. Sometimes I do use a swear word or once that's like a crutch that gets me like to keep my mind like keep flowing, you know. So it's definitely could be a crutch.
Is there any particularly influenced your style freestyling? Because when you're going off the dome, it's often different when you're premeditating it, writing it per se.
Well, yeah, shout out to KRS-One. You know, I grew up watching him freestyle on the stages and stuff and being inspired, like, yo, that's amazing. Shout out to Supernatural. Shout out to Juice. These are incredible freestyle MCs that can just like anything you throw at them, they're just incredible. You know, so definitely incredible MCs that I was like, yo, that's really that's talent, you know. So yeah, I got a little influence off of them, you know.
Nice. All right. Next question. Um, this is kind of a throwback question to a few of your older songs. But who is Ann Abernathy, and why do you keep referencing her in your songs?
Yo, I've gotten that question. I think you're the maybe third person out of all these years to ask that question.
Really,
You
I
know,
haven't found
yeah,
anyone.
yeah. Like a lot of people don't ask me that as much as I thought they would. But honestly, it was a little freestyle kind of thing. It was just like weird 17-year-old fro, just being weird, just like trying to be a little abstract and like just being like, you know. But like when I think about it now, I'm like, oh, that's a funny line, but I don't even know. It's just 17-year-old fro being a weirdo, you know. So yeah. But it's not even a person. It's just like I guess a reference of a person that doesn't even exist.
Because I looked up Ann Abernathy. There seems to be an actual person by that name. Wasn't sure if it's like a little history lesson. Because it's not just Code 829. It's also that other Afro Polo song. She keeps making
Yeah, I'm like
appearances.
Abernathy. Yeah, I don't know. I think I brought up Abernathy twice. Yeah, the Afro Polo one and the Code one, and I don't know. I think Abernathy was just a good word to rhyme with, like happening, and I don't know. I can't tap into that 17-year-old fro in that mindset. Like, why did I write that? You know, and some little rhymes are like that. Like, usually I'm on point with what I like. I'm saying and all that, but little goofy times like that, I'm just like, just say some goofy stuff, some abstract goofy stuff. You know, where it's like I don't even really know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna say it. It sounds good to me. But that's really rare though. That's like for the 98% of the time I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes when I listen to even 15 or 14-year-old fro that people haven't heard, I'm like, wow, that's so weird and that's so weird. Yeah.
Now, I was actually listening to that recently, particularly the track Smooth Jazz. They're really good stuff. Are you ever going to really give that a formal release?
Small jazz. I not really, but kinda. I have when I made that, it was a project called Modest World. And it was before I met like my family already and stuff happening. It was way before that. And shout out to my boy Pulse Reaction. he's still my day one. He's a dope beat maker. And he made the beats for that project. He made Smooth Jazz. He made Suicide Note. He made Goodbye. He made a couple of those joints. And it's on my Bandcamp, but like it's released, but it's like not. I didn't really give it like a full like push release, you know. So, but it's there for fans to listen to for sure.
Is it gonna go on like services, given a proper release? Because I think sometimes there's double-edged sword on Bandcamp. On the one hand, it's a great audience, it's a low fan base, but on the other hand, people who don't know Bandcamp are gonna miss out on a lot of great music. So you think you're ever gonna give it like a Apple Music, Spotify kind of release?
Maybe, yeah, yeah. And there's a couple projects like that one where I do want to like release like on vinyl, maybe one day or something like that. But I'm just really focused on the debut and the other projects I want to
Yeah.
give. Yeah, yeah. But I thought about Modest World and Tales from the Basement and some projects being on vinyl, just like some special little 1 or 4 or 5 vinyls, like not too many, but yeah.
So speaking of the debut, how far back does it go? It's getting mixed right now. I understand from your last post, but it seems like this has been going on for, at least my understanding, a few years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a few couple years, definitely. And I think honestly is a couple things to it, but the one thing that I'm proud of is this album that I have now, I'm way more happy with than I was a year ago or 2 years ago. So it's a lot of timing, and it's a lot of some things don't work here and there, and you got to like, there's a song that you love and you can't use it anymore because of some other stuff, and you're like, you know, like, so there's little things like that making the album where it's like having to take some songs out, taking them in, make some new songs, rewrite my verse. Little things like that are the reason why it's been kind of going like in a long process, you know. But I got a lot of progress now, and I'm happy with what it is now. So, but yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work with especially with a debut, and there's a lot of pressure too. It's my debut, my first studio album, and it's a lot of pressure. You know, you got the comments like, "Where's the album? Where's the album? Where's the album?" every day. So it's like, oof, you know, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, I think you're gonna do great, man, based on what we've already heard. Um, Now I want to circle back to another thing about abstract rhymes that reminded me to ask you. We recently Hip Hop World's been mourning loss of MF Doom. To me,
Yeah.
I know he's one of your favorite rappers. He was one of my favorite rappers. I did one of these when I saw that he was dead. I was wondering if you care to reflect on his impact on you as an artist.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know where to start. There is lyrically, there is no Afro without Doom. Lyrically, like there is, like, even just like MC wise, there is no Afro without Doom. Doom is a big part of me. It's like, as far as the pen, the writing, the delivery, just the abstract like mysteriousness of him, like him as a character. Just, he was a big, like probably one of the biggest influences on me. So yeah, it's definitely no Fro without Doom. So I definitely yeah, that was a tough one. That was a really tough one.
Yeah.
That was tough.
I mean, that's the thing too. It was just so, in a way, it was also such a poetic death. When you think about it, he died on October 31st. That's Halloween, where everyone wears a mask, and it was during COVID, where everyone was wearing a mask over their mouth.
And he passes the year that everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just awesome. Another for me too. The next day, I always make it a point to listen to "November Has Come," his Gorillaz feature on November 1st, and the lyric is, "You know November has come when it's gone away." He had
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
away the first day before.
yeah.
There's just so many levels of his death. They're just, I don't know. I think if anyone was to do it, it was just Doom. Just to have such an, like, of all the days, it was just so cool
Yeah, it was
in a
really
poignant way.
it was you know, it was a weird death, you know, like it was a really mixed emotional death for me. It was like, I don't, what's going on? I thought it was a hoax. I don't know if this is real. And then you see everybody posting and everybody confirming it. You're like, I'm like, oh man, you know, like, it was really just really a roller coaster, that one. I was like, wow.
What exactly was the first song, anyone really, that made you stop in your tracks? Who were like some of the biggest influences? Was there a song that you heard way back when you're like, whoa, I want to be this guy?
Yeah, 9 year old. I was 9 years old. Microphone Fiend by Rakim.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Microphone Fiend by Rakim. I was 9 years old. I remember being on YouTube, and it popped up as like a recommended video or something like that. And I looked at the thumbnail, and it was like the gold chains and stuff. I was like, what is that? So I clicked on it, And it was like literally the best thing I ever heard at that age. I was like, I don't know what this is. This is incredible. The beat was dope. And then when Rakim's rhyme started like kicked in the verse, I was like, I want to be this guy. I want to be this guy, what he's doing. This is so amazing, you know? So it was definitely Rakim.
Yeah. Any other songs? Any other guys?
Um, I remember Set It Off by Big Daddy Kane. That was a pretty big influence on me. I think I was 12, 13 years old. That was a pretty big influence on me. Um, Ring the Alarm by Fu Schnickens by Chip. Shout out to them. They're incredible MCs. And Chip Fu is a big influence on me with the fast rapping. So he's a
Yeah.
big influence on me.
I
So
call it like a Porky Pig rap.
yeah, it's like yeah, yeah, absolutely. But those are probably the bigger ones that I could think of that really impacted me. Cool G Rap's verse on The Realist. It's a Mobb Deep joint. Cool G Rap's verse on that. I remember when I first heard it, I was like 12 or 13, and my mind was blown. I was like, this is the craziest thing. Like just his delivery and everything. Like G Rap really killed that. And I was like, that was a pretty big early influence on me too, lyrically.
Yeah. Now I ask you this because in the past you've given a few albums, but I want to know really the specific songs. So that's a pretty good, well-rounded list. There's a few. I'd pick a few of those myself too, based on my own listening. Microphones being especially that just really holds up.
Yeah, super uber classic,
Yeah.
super classic.
All right. And next question. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to make this about the whole RA thing. You're your own artist, but everywhere you go, it seems to be people want to make you out to be RA, the Rugged Man's protege. Do you have mixed feelings about that? I know it's like you have a great friendship and he's really helped you out in your career, but do you feel, dare I say it, overshadowed?
No, I don't feel
Okay.
overshadowed because I like staying in my own lane, and it's like real. It's like staying aware of everything. You know, like staying true to yourself and staying aware. Like my favorite MC. I love you. You're my family, but I also have my own lane too. You know, and there's no problem with that. You know, there's no problem. I'm my own artist. You know, RA took me under his wing and showed me the world and showed me the sides of the music and everything and the whole entire switched my whole life around. So I took that game and that knowledge and applied it to myself, and I'm gonna be going, gonna be ducking and going my own way, pretty much my own lane, But I'm always gonna have all that with me, with my side, and he's family, and we're always gonna be making music and all that stuff because that's what we do, So it's always gonna be there, but eventually I am gonna go my own lane, and that's what I'm working on, currently. And after the first album, I'm gonna really be venturing to different stuff and doing stuff I really want to do. I have a bunch of plans and for like that, projects and stuff. It's just I'm calculating and going one step at a time too, so I don't feel overshadowed. It's I just stay in my own lane and just keep my own identity, and it's all good.
I don't get that vibe, but I just wanted to check because, especially with the debut, it's like, again, the whole thing with the pressure, kind of branching out on your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, well, sometimes I get the questions too, once in a while. You'd be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's all good, man. It's all love. I ain't tripping, But from the outside view, one or two people have saw that, so I'm like, it is what it is. But I don't feel that.
Why do you think, out of everyone, you won the definition of rap flow contest? Do you have like your own theory? Has
Well,
Ari maybe told you?
here's the thing. Before it even was declared me a winner, RA took me under his wing. He was like, "Yo, I want to we did the freestyle videos, and he's like, "Yo, I want to sign you." He said that before the thing was even won. So at that point, I was like, I don't, I'm grateful for being in the contest, but I don't care about being the winner of the prize. I already got what I really wanted was already to hear my joint, for him to reach out, which was more than I expected. And I was like, yo, this is incredible. So I didn't mind not winning or winning the contest, but it was cool. I was like, oh, cool. I'm the winner. Cool. So I was like, no problem. But it was already like going good before, what do you call it? Before the contest was even determined a winner, it was like, it was what I wanted already happened. I was like, cool. So I was, I don't, RA told me, he was like, your voice is super unique, and not only can you rhyme and you're lyrical, you got the flow and the bounce, but you have your voice. Your voice is powerful, And a lot of the other guys, they were lyrically strong and stuff like that, but their voice maybe wasn't as strong, you know. So my voice at that time, I'm like 16-year-old kid. He was like, yo, I love that. I was like, I thought you were like 30 some years old, and then you say out of nowhere, 16-year-old kid. I was like, what? You're sick? I was like, come on, you know. So already, that's what made him reach out. He was like,
Yeah,
yo,
there's a comment on the Freedom Forum flowing video that says Afro is 28, looks 16, sounds 58.
yeah.
I think
I heard
pretty
that.
funny.
Yeah, I saw that comment. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you do impressions, but apparently you only do that every once in a while. Do you think there are any impressions in the future? Like, can you like modulate your voice?
Yeah. It just has to be like,
Because
I
there's like
have to
those
be in a,
intro tags like check 1 2 mic 2, the funny voices and all that.
yeah, track one,
That's a
two,
yeah
might do, yeah. But or like yeah, Shane,
yeah
like yeah, I love to. I've always done impressions since I was a kid, but I just got to be in a goofy mood to do them. You know, I got to be in a good mood, and I stopped doing them. Oh, like when RA was taking me overseas, like early on. We were he was like, yo, do the impressions, do DMX, do dirty, do ODB, do all of it, man. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So it was fun the first few times, but I just felt like I wasn't as strong with them. So I was like, I just kind of stopped them. But they're gonna come back. I'm gonna get on my impression stuff. You know, it's goofy fro, so you need a little more of that.
Well, Afro, here's the other thing I want to ask you. Got to be dope. The release the track, amazing. But the music video, I don't quite understand. Would you mind guiding me through the whole robot fight concept? It was really cool to watch, but I'm wondering what exactly it had to do with the music thematically.
Well, that's a good question. I didn't come up with I didn't come up with the idea. I know RA did hit me up and he was like, yo, you want to be robots and just fight like robots? I was like, sure. Yeah, I was like, no problem. So that was dope. But I don't think that video really has a concept per se. I don't think it's really a concept. I think it's just a goofy, we try to make it like kind of like a 80s kind of like 80s B movie kind of feel where it's just like two dudes in robot costumes fighting. But and then I think already came up with the inside of the suit idea with the where we're like looking like that like inside. So I think he came up with that, but I don't think that was really a big concept video, you know.
Okay, I'm just feeling out because sometimes some people take their music videos like super seriously, like okay, we have to have a theme, it has to match every
Yeah,
single lyric.
yeah,
And some people like you're just having fun, but there's
yeah.
also like the idea that there are these giant rappers in the scene, and they're like these mighty robot warriors. But the other thing too about that is that you have this incredibly fast flow. I was wondering what was the drafting process for that song. The wordplay is brilliant.
I did my verse first. I recorded that verse at least like almost 2 years ago. I
Really?
recorded that verse almost 2 years ago. That's maybe a year and a half. Yeah, maybe excuse me, maybe 2 years. Yeah, so I recorded the verse. I remember hearing the beat first, and I was like, "This beat is dope." I was like, "Cool!" Like it was doper than I expected. Because already when he hits me, he's like, "Yo, I got a beat. You know, check your email." And I checked. I was like, "Yo, this is really dope." So it made me want to. Oh, this is the thing. It made me want to go like my gift to gab verse, but on steroids. That was my idea. It was like, yo, I want to top my gift to gab verse. I want to just go like crazier than that. And I love my gift to gab verse, but I was like, I want to take a step higher. So I gave that the R, and he's like, yo, this is crazy. I don't know what to write to it. I'm like, you're gonna kill it, man. I already know what you do. You're gonna kill it, big bro. You kill it. So, but he's like, yo, I don't know what to do. You killed it. I don't know how I'm gonna write to this. and then he killed it. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. It was a cool process, but it wasn't too complicated. It was just, I gave him a verse. I wanted to kill the beat, and he was like, "Yo, this is crazy. I'm gonna write to it. I just don't know what to." And then he came through, killed it, and that was it.
I think too. There's also a teacher in men's health. I think RA set a record for most syllables in a minute. Like they did like a calculator. So
Oh,
I think
really?
you're on a
Dope,
record-setting track right now. How's
dope,
that feel?
dope, dope,
Yeah. Dope.
dope. He broke a record.
Yeah. On the other side of things, though, you also had that song recently with the kick drums. You've been playing a lot in the show. It's Blurred Colors, I believe is
Yeah,
what it's called.
yep.
That's a much slower verse, but that too really bouncy. I love the way you wrote that. Could you guide me through that process of writing?
Well,
What exactly is the difference between like a fast beat, like Gotta Be Dope, and a slow one like Blurred Colors?
well. I'm an adapter. It's what I feel. I can rhyme slow. I can rhyme fast. I can rhyme lyrical. I try to adapt and do as much as I can. But when it comes to a slow beat like that, I have either two choices. I have a choice to either rhyme fast on a slow beat or rhyme slow on a slow beat. And if I rhyme slow on a slow beat, I got to make sure that I'm like, it has to stay interesting, or it has to like not too boring, or I got to be a little lyrical or whatever, like that. Like being rhyming slow on the slow beat is a challenge, for any fast rap MC or anything like that. That's a challenge. So that's it. It takes me there to be like, all right, I got to step it up a little bit if I'm going to do that on a slow beat. But with a fast beat, it clicks in my head faster. Writing fast is pretty easy, but it can be tough because a standard verse is a 16 bar verse. When you're a fast rapper, you're writing two 16-bar verses in one because you're rhyming all those words. You're rhyming all those words. So you got to think of twice or three times the amount of words to fit in one verse. So that could be tough too. But when I'm freestyling over a fast beat on the stage, it's faster. It's like it clicks in my head. I'm like, all right, cool, cool, cool. It's like when I rhyme over a fast beat freestyle, I'm like, cool. When I freestyle over a slower beat, it's actually a little bit tougher. So I take that as a challenge because it's like it takes a little more time for me to like click in my head. When it's fast, it's just poop, 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 automatic. I'm like, okay, cool, 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 cool. I adapt to it. But that's the thing. I'm just an adapter. I try it all, any tempo.
That's interesting you say that because theoretically, if you do it into like freestyle mode, it'd probably come more quicker, more naturally, right? How would that
Yeah.
compare? Like, yeah, sorry.
Well, with the well, I'm sorry. What was that?
Well, what I mean to say is, you were mentioning earlier how if you go into freestyle mode, you just kind of turn on a part of your brain, and then it just
Right.
kind of flows out, and you're like
Right.
going over the same accents over and over again. But you're mentioning now with the slow beat, it's slower and you can't go as fast, and it's
Yeah.
tough to write to it.
Well, no, no,
But
no, no,
theoretically,
no.
if you freestyle to it, it maybe come
I,
out easier.
well, with a slow beat, it's just a little tougher for me to just not even tougher. Like I can freestyle with slow and fast beats. It takes a little more time. Not even a bunch of time. It just takes a little longer for me to like really like click into that zone with the slower beat. It's like, okay, I gotta, unless I'm rhyming fast over it. But when it's just like a regular 85 BPM tempo, I'm like, okay, that's regular. I can rhyme over it. But you give me 120 BPM or 110 BPM beat, I can click fast with that. I'm okay, cool, 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 like boom, boom, boom. But with a slower regular tempo, it's just like, okay, I could do it, but I'm just gonna need a little more brain power, a little more.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you for answering my neuroscientific questions. We're going to get back to the fun ones now. I wanted to ask you how you linked up with the different bands this year for your different collaborations. There was the BET, there was the kick drums, there's other ones. How did you meet all those guys? Because it's such a well-rounded group of people.
Well, for the most part, they contact me, they email me, hit me up. The BET one was through a homie, was through Novel, so that was cool. Kick drums was through RA. Kick drums is working with RA a lot recently, and he was like, "Yo, I want a fro verse." RA reached out, was like, "No problem." Gave Kick drums a verse, and now Kick drums has a beat on my album, or I think two
Huh.
beats on my album. So it's working from that beginning, came into like a little circle of love that was cool. I was like, cool. But a lot of the futures, for the most part, they reach out to me. They're like, yo, I had you an idea on this track. I'm like, cool, let's talk, whatever you feel. So yeah, it depends. But yeah.
What about on Chapter 1? How'd you link up with those guys, Republic of Bounce and Raptors?
Well, the one of the guys' name is Danny Rickler, and I've known him. He's one of my homies when I go overseas. Like he'd pop up. He's in Germany, I think, and he would pop up to a couple of the shows and just kick it, like, "Yo, what up?" and just showing support. And he's a cool homie that I've gotten to know over the years when I go over there. So he's dope. He had that little group that he put together, and he was like, "Yo, I hear you on this joint. Would you like to do it?" I was like, "Sure." So that was all pretty simple, but pretty cool. I've known Danny for a couple years through the years, like I've been touring, when it was touring times, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
And what about Flow? That one was one of the first singles of the year. That was with King Relic and Jason Logic. if I'm not
Oh, King
mistaken.
Red. Yeah, they reached out. They reached out to me. They reached out to me and were like, same thing. Yo, can you rhyme over this? Or we got something in mind for you. I'm like, sure. Let's get to work, They're pretty simple. Like with the futures, I'm a little more simple, but there's definitely some features that I love more than others that I'm more proud of, and that's how it is. It's the same thing as making songs. Sometimes you love more songs better than other ones. So,
So I'm guessing it's the same thing then for Better Than You and So Better, the other ones.
what was that?
Better Than You and So Bitter. That was the
Oh,
or
well,
just
Better Than You was cool. Yeah, same. It was the same process, but that was, I think, maybe the third time me and Chris Rivers were on the track. Like we were not even I think accidentally put on the same track a couple times where I didn't know
really.
Chris was going to be on it until like kind of last minute.
I hadn't heard of the songs. What are those?
Well, one's Better Than You. I did me and him were on a track called Four Elements with Stormy Maya. And then we did a track a couple years ago that I didn't know. Like I thought I was, it was just gonna be me and the guy who was making the beat was like, there's gonna be a couple other MCs. I was like, cool, I'm just gonna write my verse. And then it turned out to be Chris Rivers was on there, Tragedy Gaddafi, Lazarus is on there, and the guy's name is like Rebel Khan artist or something. Like he made the beat. And yeah, it's me, Chris Rivers, Tragedy, Lazarus, and somebody else on the same track. But that was a couple years ago. That was like early for that. Was like 2015, maybe
Oh wow.
2016. Yeah.
And yeah, okay. Now I gotta ask you. This is a little too tempting to ask, but you mentioned you like some of your features more than others. Which tracks are those?
Oh, one feature I did was shout out to Tara Van Poole. We just did a track called Wordplay, and the beat was grimy and
I gotta hear
dope,
that one.
and yeah, and he killed it. And I was like, yo, I like that one a lot. No bias, but gotta be dope. That's one of my favorite features I've ever done in like so far in my 23 years. It's like probably almost my favorite one, probably my favorite one. Um, off the top of my head, I've done a couple, man. But though, I mean, technically it kind of counts, but Gift the Gab, Gift the Gab did what I didn't expect to. Like it's got almost 10 million views on YouTube. I never thought that. I thought it was going to do like a million or like a cool, something like that. But for it to do that, I was like, huh? I was like, oh shit, I was like, wow. So that was pretty cool. That surprised me. But and it was just awesome to be on the track with not only my favorite MC RA, but Gift the Gab is someone that I grew up like also influenced too with the pen. So for him to reach out and be like, yo, I want you two on this track was really dope. That was like a really cool, like, yo, like, wow. I'll always love Gab too. So that was dope.
The music you do for that too is pretty cool. What inspired the cardboard hats and all that? The little guy
But
dancing in the background.
that was last minute. That was on the shoot. Like I went to the shoot. I think we didn't really know what we were gonna shoot yet. And then the director, Joker, was like, yo, I got these cardboard masks that him and his wife made. They were like, yo, if you want to rock these, he'd probably be cool. And Ari's like, all right, let's roll through it. I was like, cool, let's run through it, and I'm gonna go. You guys see the vision? You guys dress me up, cool. So but yeah,
So that
that
was
was
improvised. Really, it looks
yeah,
so choreographed.
yeah,
All the
yeah.
moves are great. It's so everything matches the lyrics. It's all on time. Kind of starting around with questions, but I do want to ask you too if there are any upcoming projects that you're acting in.
Not currently.
No.
Not currently. Nothing upcoming or anything. But I'm working on that. I just got my SAG renewed, so like literally recently. So I'm trying to find some more acting jobs and some more stuff. I'm trying to be in the movies, man. I want to act. So.
Wait, when did you join the guild?
Well, I joined the guild early, like 2015 when I was on a VH1 show called The Breaks, and I had to join SAG for that. But over the years, I just kind of like in the past 2 years or so, I kind of stopped like looking at it and stuff, and I realized that I had to get renewed and stuff and all that. So I got renewed recently, and I'm like, I got it all in order recently. But for a minute, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I don't know how to use it. I don't know what to do. It was I don't know what to do, But I got it fixed up, so that's cool.
Just probably about two more questions now. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're still waking up, but
No, you're good. I'm up now. I'm
all
up
right.
now, so it's all good.
First one is the one I ask everyone. What music are you currently listening to?
Ooh, good question. Mostly oldies. mostly oldies, mostly like Sam Cooke and like Manhattan, Stylistics, Al Green's are arguably my favorite singer of all time. Al Green, Luther Vandross, so amazing. That song is incredible. And the one song that I have, it depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I could listen to one song for like 2 hours straight, and it could drive people crazy. But I only do that when I'm by myself. But the song that I'm doing that to now is Slick Rick, "Hey Young World." That song I got on replay like a million times. But yeah, I'm mostly an oldies guy. I keep in tune with who's coming out, underground MCs and some mainstream guys. Whoever I hear, they're like, "Yo, bro, check them out." I check them out. I'm pretty on point with that. But for the most part, like when I'm just chilling, like right now, if I wasn't on the meeting now, I'd be chilling, listening to some Al Green, some oldies. I love jazz. I love swing. I'm like Ra's like, "Yo, you're a 50-year-old man in a 23-year-old body. What's wrong with you?" He's like, "You're an old man." I was like, "Yeah," but that's the stuff I love.
No, I totally get that. I can do the same thing. I get told that a lot actually. I don't know what it is, but everyone thinks I'm weird just because I like listen to music from like maybe 30, 20 years ago. It doesn't even seem that far away, but I guess
It doesn't make you
time
weird.
moves
It
on.
makes you awesome. It makes you
Yeah,
awesome. It
it
doesn't
does
make
make
you
you
weird.
awesome. It just you have so much more knowledge when you go digging rather than
Yes.
just listening to it on the radio. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
well, speaking of which, a few of those new guys, those underground guys, could you give us maybe a few of those names?
Yeah. Shout out to Mad Squabbles. Um. Shout out to. I already shouted him out, but shout out to Tara Van Poo. He just dropped a few recent projects. Shout out to my dude Skanks. Skanks, the what does he call himself? Dang, Skanks. He calls himself Skanks. He's an NY dude with an eye patch over his eye, and he's awesome. He has grimy MC, real dope flow. Just a lot of family, a lot of family that I've gotten to know over the years. But check out Mad Squabbles. He's dope. He's my age. He's dope. His flow's dope. Lyrically, he's dope. I try to shout him out as much as I can. He's a good dude, and he's dope.
The next is two. I want to know the concept behind songs like Numbers. You had like every month there'd be a new freestyle over another beat. You haven't really done that in a while. Like your earlier stuff, you're talking about back
Yeah,
14-year-old, 16-year-old Fro.
yeah.
Is that making a comeback or is that just in preparation for the new album?
That is what you just said, the preparation for the new album, and giving them
Okay.
appetizers too, just so they can like hold on until I release the album. I want to give them some stuff. I want to give them some videos, big or small. Like some of the songs I did the Big Belly one, and that was over a Dre beat. It was a mixtape joint. So I'm not really making no profit or none. It's just just to put out there for them to have. So like the Numbers one, that was more original. I had a homie Coops. His name's Coops. He reached out. He was like, "Yo, what beats you like? I love that one." So that was kind of like a spur of the moment, kind of like, "Oh, let's just record and shoot it," kind of thing. So it depends. Like again, depends what mood I'm in. But yeah, I'm starting to give them some more videos, like and more consistently too. Early on this year, I was like, I'm gonna give them videos every other 2 weeks, every other something like that, maybe every other 2 weeks, and that's what I've been kind of sticking to it. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Like every other 2 weeks, give them a video, give them some content, give them something.
Okay. And yeah, that's about all the questions I have. Well, thank you for joining us. This has been really cool.
Hey, no problem, no problem.
All right. Well, thanks again. Let you go now. You have a great day.
You too, brother. Thank you, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.